Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back to uh, to Mary's Ministry channel, YouTube channel, and for the series of Cindy's song. Cindy's song. That's the name of the series. It's about the life and mission of Cynthia Louise Marie Rollahan. Cindy, my Cindy. Um, Today is a beautiful day. It's just lovely outside. The sky is blue, and the it's a very brisk coolness in the air. There's a breeze and all. It's just lovely outside. The birds are still here. I see them gathering from migration. Some of them have already left. The hummingbirds that feed at the kitchen window, there's a very few and far between now. I think they packed their bags. A few are stragglers there on the window for the south too, for more blossoms as they go south to their winter quarters. The birds are sacramental to me. You know, sacramentals like a picture of Jesus or the crucifix or a medal and chain or my crucifix, or this is my Cindy's crucifix. She wore this, and this is the miraculous medal. I wear it all the time. Well, these are sacramentals. Sacramentals are signs of God. That remind us of God, that sort of ignite, turn on our faith, reminds us of God's love for us through his saints, through the crucifix, which is the ultimate love God has shown us by sending his Son that we may be saved. Anyway, the birds are sacramentals to me. When I see a bird, first of all, I'm fascinated with them. The hummingbirds, how they can fly backwards and forwards and stay in place in the air. They're marvelous. Their flight. Not even the best jet plane could do. A fighter plane could do that kind of stuff. Anyway, the reason why they're sacramentals, Jesus in the Gospel in the Sermon on the Mount said, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not labor and toil, but yet the Father takes care of them. Not one of them falls to the ground without the Father knowing it." Well, they remind me of God's care and providence for his creatures, but not only for his creatures, like birds and animals and trees and rocks and all the things outside there I'm looking at, a deer, but not only as creatures does God take care of, and we participate in that care, taking care of the environment by recycling and doing all those things that I know that you're so sensitive to God's love and care. Anyway, he takes care of us. That's what Jesus was saying. Not to worry about what we are to eat, what we are to drink, what we are to wear. He takes care of us. I've been failing in that sometimes. I told someone I cracked when someone asked me to help them, need a little help, and I was so beside myself. I cracked. I mumbled and everything, not in sort of in desperation. That person didn't need to hear that. I just cracked, and I wasn't trusting God enough. And I apologize to the person. They don't need to know all that stuff. And God always provides. But sometimes I forget, or sometimes it's just like I'll call it the bends. Like when people go under the water too far, they get the bends. Well, I get pretty deep sometimes, but I know that God is taking, in faith, I know that God is taking care of me, and the birds remind me of that. And I was talking to Cindy. She's in heaven now, and of course you'll find that out in this Cindy's song about her life and death. But I just thought yesterday, when I was going through all this kind of stuff, trusting in God's providence, I thought of just a sparrow, those very homey little sparrows. They stay here all year long. Right to the dead of winter, they're right there in my bird feeder, and they're just wonderful. The house sparrow I'm talking about, or they call them the English sparrow too, the common one that you see in the dust, just priming themselves in the dust. Sometimes are in our the bird bath, too. They mom's got a bird bath, and we used to watch them just enjoy themselves on a hot summer day in the bird bath. But anyway, I had this imagination or a vision of a sparrow, and I didn't want to ever forget it, because I want to be like that sparrow that's just enjoying the dusty. It gets all dusty and these dusty, or it gets all wet and happy and just sprinkles those crystal water in the sun. Just enjoying himself, not worried. He doesn't seem to have a heart problem or being worried. He just enjoying being a sparrow. And I told Cindy today, when I was coming home from church and thinking about a lot of stuff, so Cindy, get that sparrow, don't let me lose it. That is, don't let me use the vision of being like a sparrow that Jesus made an example of. So I'm on pretty good ground. Jesus used the sparrow as a example that we are to trust God like the sparrow. Anyway, I said, Cindy, put it in a cage, don't let it fly away. Don't let me forget that God is caring for me and caring for the ministry. Don't let me forget. Let me put my trust in God. Let me please Him by trusting Him in everything, even when things get a little bit deeper than I would like, that I would worry about or whatever. God is so good. I know He is, and I say that, so I mean, they're not just words, but sometimes I don't live it very well. I crack, and I ask God's forgiveness. He deserves all my love, and love is trust. That He won't let me down, and so He deserves all my trust too. And so I told Cindy, don't let me lose that sparrow. Hold on to it. Keep it in your cage, and remind me when I start to forget about how God takes care of every detail of our lives, each moment of our lives, and will never let us down. Okay, I better get back to oh my goodness, half of my time is up. Oh, I'm sorry, Cindy. Anyway, what I want to do today is talk about our relationship, or Cindy's relationship to me. It's her story, not mine. I'm sort of part of it. I'm just, innocent bystander, but it's not a bystander anymore. Well, anyway, as I mentioned before in the previous episodes of Cindy's song, Cindy was going back and forth when I first met her from Texas down by the Gulf of Mexico coast up to Chicago to give once a month the message at the celebration of Father Peter Mary Rookie's healing mass and healing service. And they were very good friends. They were both mystics. They both knew each other, that they were both from God, that they were both of God. And that relationship, she loved Father very much and prayed for him very much. And Father knew that, and I'm sure he did the same for her. And encouraged her in her ministry. As I mentioned, he was the one that made public her ministry, like Jesus at the wedding feast at Cana, when Mary, asked the servants to do whatever he tells you, and getting those water jars. That was Jesus was right in the public ministry right there. Jesus even said, "My time has not come," but Blessed Mother just trusted Jesus like I should be trusting the Eternal Father, and said, "Do whatever he tells you." But Jesus was sort of flung into the public life. He couldn't go any place anymore, but people would follow him because he was the one that changed that water into wine at that wedding feast at Cana, at Mary's beckoning. Um, so that, excuse me. So I'm embarrassed. I forgot my train of thought. My screen just left me. So she would go back and forth, and then she would drop in. She was very tired because she was traveling. I mean, that's a long ways from Texas to Chicago, and she would do it in a day or whatever. I don't know how long it took, but anyway, she would always make her confession and spiritual direction, or a confession. You know, I was just minding my own business, doing what I was supposed to be doing, taking care of the spiritual needs of the pilgrims at Our Lady of the National Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows in Belleville, Illinois, just right across the river from St. Louis, Missouri. This was on the Illinois side. Anyway, as I mentioned, one day she left me a note, and after she left, and then in the note it said, "Will you be my spiritual director?" I don't know why she left me a note, but anyway, when I read the note, oh my goodness, you know, it wasn't out of the ordinary, because they had many people coming to the shrine for spiritual direction. That was part of my job. So I read the note hurriedly, and she was leaving in the parking lot, and I ran out and I said, "Cindy, I read your note, and yes, of course I will be happy to be your spiritual director." So there was a new relationship there, not just a confessor, not just one of the priests on duty at the shrine, but a spiritual direction. Okay, so that kept on going. She was flying through all the time. Sometimes she would stay at the motel. And as I mentioned, when Father Peter Mary Rookie announced that Cindy was in town in this area to begin a religious family institute of priests, brothers and sisters and lay people, a Mother of God, under the title of Mother of God. Of course, she was the first to tell me when she got home, and that was the beginning of the public manifestation of Mother of God Ministries. So anyway, the relationship was a relationship of spiritual direction now. As things were gone along, she was invited by a wonderful and holy priest, a brother. He was a national speaker at charismatic conferences, like at the big one at Notre Dame, and Cindy got to know him. I think his name was Brother Lopez, but he lived in Texas someplace. Now, we'll fill you in all these things later on. This is a general thing. Anyway, he was in the process of founding a religious order of Franciscans with a very strict observance, very strict, but he needed someone to help him found the female part of the religious order. He had already got a Franciscan rule that was already approved. All he needed was a foundress. Well, Cindy came and said that Brother Lopez had invited her down to talk about this, to discern this. Well, you know, spiritual director that I was, and you know, it sounded a good thing. I said, "Go with it, Cindy, go." And not that she needed any help to go, but I encouraged her, and I thought it was a great idea. Okay, she went down there, and I was getting phone calls from her, you know, giving me what was going on. She went down with a group of other women, a couple of women, I'm not sure how many. Anyway, they were in very intense prayer. Anyway, I see that my time is almost up, but I will continue that about her time, which was very key with Brother Lopez, a holy brother, a holy founder to be of Franciscan brothers and sisters. I must leave now, but remember, all is grace. Everything is grace. Each moment God is providing for us, like that little sparrow, and to put all your trust in God, and don't be too global about the trust. Put your trust in this moment. He will take care of the next moment. Love him. Surrender to his love, all his grace.